There's something about airports, the mix of excitement and calm before a long journey. I remember sitting there, watching people drift by, each with a story of their own. It was quiet, almost meditative. After months of planning, Istanbul was finally waiting on the other side of this flight. Once the plane took off, time seemed to stretch endlessly. Hours passed between meals, clouds, and silence. But somewhere over Europe, I caught myself smiling, because this wasn't just another trip. It felt like stepping toward a place I'd always wanted to see with my own eyes. When the doors opened, I stepped out and felt that first breath of Istanbul air. It was warm, fragrant, almost nostalgic, as if the city itself exhaled centuries of stories into that single moment. The taxi pulled away from the airport, and suddenly the city began to unfold. Mosques appeared in the distance, elegant, timeless, their domes and minarets catching the afternoon light. Traffic moved like a slow river, and beyond the window, I could feel the pulse of a place that had lived 1,000 lives. Crossing bridges, watching people on the sidewalks, I realized this was the meeting point of worlds. Europe and Asia, modern and ancient, all in motion together. The room at 10 Karakoy was quiet, a small haven in the middle of the city. I dropped my bag, opened the curtains, and watched the street below. Everything felt new but strangely comforting, like the city was saying, "Take your time." Later that evening, we found ourselves at a small cafe nearby. The table glowed with warm light. The air smelled of sugar and tea leaves. The first bite of baklava, soft, sweet, buttery, and the sip of hot Turkish tea that followed, somehow made the whole journey worth it. In that moment, Istanbul didn't feel distant anymore. It felt close, almost like home. This morning, the city wakes up slowly around us. The streets of Istanbul come alive with the first light, a blend of old and new meeting at every corner. As we step outside, you can almost hear history breathe through the morning air. We wander through the quiet streets, where shopkeepers raise their shutters and the aroma of fresh bread drifts from small bakeries. It's a soft beginning one that invites you not to rush, but to simply be present in the city's rhythm. And soon, the path leads us to the Yeni Mosque. The first light of morning washes over its domes and minarets, turning stone to gold. Standing before it, there's a hush that settles, a kind of reverence that words can't capture. Ed sits quietly on the steps, humbled by the beauty before him. There's no need to speak, just the sound of pigeons fluttering overhead and the distant murmur of the Bosphorus. In that stillness, you realize how moments like this make travel feel sacred. When we step inside, the world outside fades away. Soft light spills through the high windows, illuminating patterns that seem to float in the air. The carpet beneath our feet cushions each step. It's as if the place itself asks you to move gently, to breathe slowly, to listen. Only a few people pray in silence. The chandeliers hang low, glimmering like stars suspended in time. It's peaceful and humbling to stand within walls that have witnessed centuries of devotion. As we step back into the open air, the city has fully awakened. It's very beautiful walk, morning walk from the Galata Bridge to this beautiful mosque, especially as they are singing. The sun glows brighter now, spilling over the domes and narrow streets. We're gonna try to find breakfast now. It is October 7th, or no, October 8th. We just woke up. Actually, we didn't go to sleep because we're so jet lagged and we're so excited to discover. We're so excited to discover Istanbul. So we decided to just get out of bed and start exploring. And this is what we saw. Vendors set up their stalls, doves scatter into the sky, and the call to prayer drifts faintly through the breeze. The Bosphorus shimmers in the distance, bridging two worlds, Europe and Asia, as if reminding us that this city has always lived between contrasts. It's a gentle reminder of how beautiful beginnings can be. A short walk later, the quiet turns into sound and color. We've arrived at the Grand Bazaar, a city within a city, alive with centuries of trade, laughter, and stories. Stepping inside is like stepping into another time. Arched ceilings, painted with intricate designs, stretch endlessly above.
You freaking there, man. Like, why you in that attitude?
They talk to you, not
No,
me.
to you, they're looking at you.
No, they're looking at you.
I think I'm Indian. You need to stay here? This is your shop.
Bazaar, that's called Grand Bazaar.
Yeah, but do you really want to go?
The air is filled with the scent of spices, cinnamon, saffron, tea leaves, and the echo of merchants calling out softly.
Hola, mira la barrita. La barrita.
Every corner reveals something new. Rows of glittering lamps, woven carpets dyed in deep reds and blues, to jewelry that catches the light like fire. It's overwhelming and beautiful, a feast for every sense. Further inside, the bazaar opens like a living museum, streets of gold, alleys lined with Turkish delights and friendly faces, eager to share their craft.
Huh? The what?
1 kilo, 940 lira.
Wow. For what?
You realize this isn't just a marketplace, it's the heart of Istanbul, still beating after 600 years. Just beyond the bazaar's bustle stands the Nur Osmaniye Mosque, quiet, graceful, almost hidden. Built in the mid-18th century under Sultan Mahmud I, it's one of the finest examples of Ottoman Baroque architecture. Stepping inside, the noise of the market melts away. Light filters through tall windows, casting soft patterns over marble floors and arches. The dome rises high above a masterpiece of symmetry and devotion. It's a place that asks nothing of you except stillness. Here, surrounded by artistry and peace, you feel the weight of centuries lift replaced by the simple joy of being present. As the afternoon fades, we step back into the street, carrying the warmth of the day with us, the sound of prayer, the scent of spice, the taste of tea. Istanbul reveals itself not all at once, but through quiet moments like these, in its mosques, its markets, its light. And as we walk toward the fading sun, we realize we're not just seeing the city, we're slowly becoming part of its story. Today, I step into a dream I've carried since childhood, to finally see the Hagia Sophia with my own eyes. As I approach its ancient walls, the morning light spills across the courtyard. The moment I step inside, the world opens up. Light pours through the high windows, soft, golden, and endless. I stand there frozen, my breath caught somewhere between disbelief and awe. The great dome rises above me, vast and weightless, suspended like a heaven made of stone and light. For a moment I feel small and yet profoundly alive. The golden mosaics shimmer in the filtered glow, their intricate patterns whispering stories of emperors and believers long gone. Hundreds of hanging lamps float just above eye level, swaying gently like a constellation of quiet stars. The marble beneath my feet is cool and smooth, polished by generations of footsteps. Around me, people sit quietly on the carpet, some whispering prayers, others gazing upward in reverence. I join them, sinking into the stillness, feeling the air hum with history. What else can one feel when standing before such beauty? My heart feels full, almost trembling this, the place I had dreamed of since I was young. And in that silence, I feel a quiet joy, the kind that asks for no words, only presence. When I finally step back outside, the sunlight feels different, brighter, gentler, as if the world itself has softened. Through a small gate and across a stretch of park, I catch sight of the Blue Mosque rising behind the trees, elegant, balanced, serene. The green lawns and red flowers sway lightly in the breeze, and the gentle chatter of visitors mixes with the cooing of pigeons. I walk through a narrow gate, and the courtyard opens up, wide, spacious, and bright, framed by tall arches and slender minarets pointing toward the sky. I pause again. The Blue Mosque stands before me, graceful, calm, almost breathing. It doesn't overwhelm, it welcomes. Inside, the light shifts once more. Warm, golden tones spill from the low-hanging lamps, illuminating the soft, pinkish carpet beneath my feet. The domes above feel lighter here, more delicate, almost floating, their colors gentle and luminous. There's peace in this place, not only in its walls, but in the people who come to stand beneath them. Ed and I sit quietly for a while, letting the stillness wrap around us. Time slows, and for a moment, all is calm. Later, as we walk back, we find a small park, green and quiet, dotted with red flowers glowing in the afternoon sun. We sit under the trees, saying little, letting the breeze move through the leaves. It's one of those moments that doesn't need to be captured, just felt. A pause between places, a breath between memories. And as I sit there, surrounded by beauty and peace, I realize something simple and profound. This is why I travel, not just to see the world, but to feel it. And today, I felt it all. As we wandered along the edge of the Bosphorus, the river breeze carried the scent of salt and roasting corn. We watched ferries drift lazily by, people stepping on and off as if in a slow dance with the city. And along the walkway, there were these little carts with bright canopies, vendors selling warm corn and chestnuts. The kind of simple street food that somehow makes everything feel more real. We just soaked it all in. The gentle hum of Istanbul around us, and that feeling of a childhood dream quietly unfolding in the air. From my vantage point among the ferries, I can see the Galata Tower rising in the distance, its silhouette a familiar beacon against the skyline. And beyond it, the Bosphorus Bridge stretches gracefully across the water, connecting continents in a single elegant arc. In that moment, I felt like I was seeing the city not just with my eyes, but with that sense of childhood wonder finally fulfilled. To my left, the Yeri Mosque comes into view, the very first mosque I laid eyes on when I arrived in Istanbul. Now, on this last day, it feels like a gentle, full circle, a quiet nod from the city as it wraps up this chapter of the journey. And just beyond that, along the horizon, I can see the silhouettes of other grand mosques, the Hagia Sophia and the Blue Mosque, standing like timeless guardians over the city. It's as if Istanbul is offering a final, breathtaking panorama, a gentle reminder of all the beauty that has unfolded day by day. And now, as I approach the Galata Bridge, it unfolds over the Golden Horn, linking the old heart of Istanbul with the pulse of its modern side. I didn't know its name at first, but here it is, the Galata Bridge, stretching across the water like a thread between times. As I cross it, I see fishermen leaning over the railings, their lines cast down into the water below. It's one of those simple, timeless scenes, a bridge not just of stone and steel, but of people, traditions, and the daily rhythm of life in this incredible city. We also wandered into the small, narrow alleys, branching off the main street, where the world turned even more colorful and alive. Here we discovered little shops and stalls filled with a vibrant sense of spices, fresh fruits, and sweet desserts. It was a feast for the senses, a kaleidoscope of colors and aromas that seemed to linger in the air, inviting us to explore just a little bit more. And finally, we caught sight of the Galata Tower again, standing quietly at the end of the street, like a gentle period at the end of our journey. We didn't climb it. We just stood there, looking up, knowing we were exactly where we were meant to be. It was our last day in Istanbul, and every corner felt familiar now, as if the city itself was gently saying goodbye. There was a sense of warmth in that farewell, a feeling that we'd come to know these streets and mosques, bridges and bazaars in a way that would stay with us. In that moment, I realized Istanbul is not just a place you visit. It's a city that weaves itself into your memory, leaving traces of its beauty in every corner of your mind. And as we said goodbye, I knew we'd carry a piece of it home, a reminder that some journeys don't just end, they become a part of who we are.